Madam President.
The senator from Oklahoma.
Thank you. I'd ask that a quorum call be vitiated.
Without objection.
I'd ask unanimous consent to speak on the pending business.
The senator is recognized.
The American people should pay very close attention this week. We're going to have on the floor what the majority leader calls a non-controversial bill. Non-controversial in that we are going to take 3 million acres and deem it untouchable for further energy for this country. Non-controversial in that we're going to spend in mandatory spending yearly from now on out $900 million a year on things that you will never see the benefit of. Non-controversial in terms of taking specific areas with known, proven oil and gas reserves, 300 million by the Department of Interior's estimation in one field alone, 300 million barrels of oil and 13 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. It's non-controversial. The other thing that we should be aware of is throughout this bill, this omnibus lands bill, 150 different individual bills, 50 of which never had a hearing in the House. They were voted on in the Senate at committee, but most had never had a hearing. We're going to step all over private property rights in this nation. We're not going to do it directly. We're just going to do it through laws that we refer to in this omnibus package that allows the bureaucracy, the faceless bureaucracy, to now utilize portions of pre-existing acts to take land by eminent domain. Now, you're going to hear that, well, that's a small portion. It's specifically prevented in certain portions of the bill. They do say that, but they don't obviate the law. So in this bill, which I readily admit, 70 or 80 of the bills I would happily pass because I don't think they have a profound negative impact on our future. But 70 or 80 of the bills I think have a profound negative impact on the future. And I readily admit in trying to stop this bill in the past, and I put forward I will do everything in my power as an individual senator to, if not stop it, slow it down so that the American people will actually know every aspect of everything that's in this bill. It's over 2,000 pages. There's never been one amendment allowed on the Senate floor to alter this bill. And so I look forward to a debate. I look forward to an open amendment process that does not allow veto by the other side of what we want to try to amend and when we want to try to amend it. And I pledge to use every parliamentary tactic that I have at my capabilities to defend the right to amend this bill. Some may say, well, you know, you've got a lost cause. Why don't you just give it up? Senator Coburn, go home, let them have it, they're going to win. The reason we shouldn't let them win on this, although there's good things in this bill, is because we're setting a precedent with a very weak foundation underneath us for our future energy needs. We now recently, in the last 6 weeks, have had a federal judge in Utah abandon and prohibit energy exploration because it's close to a wilderness area. We've had the Interior Department rescind energy exploration permits that were granted under due and full process because it's not environmentally acceptable. What's not acceptable is to deny the fact that even if we get to a totally green energy source, it's going to take us 20 years to do it. And what is not acceptable is to continue to send our hard-earned dollars out of this country when in fact we could provide that same energy without sending those dollars out of this country and increase our own economic base and freedom and prosperity. So I look forward to the debate. I plan on voting no on the motion to proceed, and I plan on using every tool every tool that I can to delay and obstruct this piece of legislation, because it's not in the best interest, long-term interest of our country. A bill that's 150 bills or 160 bills comes to the floor with many people that are proponents. The question you ought to ask your senator is, even though you get something for us, is this really a good deal for us? Is this really something that we want to bless every other 149 bills throughout this mega bill, this omnibus lands bill? Do you really get something that's good for the country as a whole, that's good for the country in the long term, that benefits the next 2 generations? And do we do so in a way that is prudent, efficient, effective, and manageable? And the answer to that question is no. It's no today, it's going to be no tomorrow, and it'll be no after we've done this and look back on it 10 years from now. We live in a make-believe world that we can have our cake and eat it too. We can't. The fact is we're tremendously reliant on carbon sources of energy. We need to quit abandoning our own sources until we can be carbon-free. This bill takes us a long ways towards taking off multiple areas of both potential and proven reserves, both natural gas, geothermal, and oil, that we should be utilizing for our own benefit and our own future. And with that, I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.